Hey, welcome back to another edition of Dave Learns AI. Really excited today because one of my cohorts is back in action, Mr. Tribble Reese.
I'm back
He,
after a little hiatus.
Yeah, hiatus. So you went and got married.
That was,
like a month ago.
A month ago.
Yeah, and then you came back for like a week, and then you went on vacation.
That's going to be
that's the
how we're going to do
cadence.
things. 1 week on, 1 week off. Especially after getting married, I think that's going to be the new way of doing things. You guys are cool with that, right?
Hey, listen, man. Honestly, in today's day and age, the idea is to be able to work to afford your life,
Yep.
right? Right? It's not that work is life. You know, you think about older generations of just like work was everything, you know? You'd get up in the morning, you'd work all day, you'd come home, you'd kiss your kids, you'd have dinner, you'd go to bed, and you'd do it again. And the whole purpose was, I don't know, that ring at the end of your retirement or that pension. Well, the pensions don't matter anymore because they're not available. So, like, to be able to balance a life that is working and playing, I'm all for it, bro.
And that's why we're doing this podcast, is because AI gives you, even more than the internet. The internet's the vehicle, but AI gives you your time back. And that's what we're trying to bestow amongst the people today.
It can definitely make life a whole lot easier, especially, I think of some of the big projects that I'll end up getting on my plate. And I'll tell you, it is weird. You know how children or kids, teenagers, are usually the first to embrace new technology?
Yeah.
And then older people like us like me, are like, what are you kids doing these days? I have two teenagers and a 20-year-old in my house. Well, one teenager's off to college. But anytime I talk to them about what I'm doing, they're so anti. Like, I can't even get them to watch things that I create or listen to my podcast because they're like, nah, I'm a purist.
Back.
I'm a purist.
Because that's like the new thing. They've grown up in this technological everything, screens in their hand from out of the womb.
Yeah.
And now to do that, you're just a regular person.
Yeah.
Like, you're not pushing back against the mainstream.
Well, I was talking to my son just before coming in here, and I was like, hey, you got to watch this. He's like, no, Dad, it's AI. He's like, you're just like taking my job. And I'm like, first of all, you don't have a job. You're in college. Number two, what's your job? Like, what's it going to be? And he's like, well, I don't know yet. And I'm like, well, how am I taking your job? And I said, if you're smart, son, you will figure out how to utilize these technologies in order to have a job in the future. Or you can just put your head in the sand and go, oh, man, I'm gonna stay off the AI
You
stuff.
cannot put your head in the sand with something as powerful as AI. We don't even know where this train is going, but the train is already here, and if you don't adapt, you die.
So, and I was telling him, I'm like, listen, because he's like, oh, I do AI. I'm like, asking ChatGPT, what color you should wear today isn't using AI. And the scary part is he's in his second year of college. And the fact that he's not trying to utilize it more outside of just giving him answers to questions for a report he has to do. And I'm trying to tell him, I'm like, listen, man, if you actually take the time to learn the implementation of AI tools, not just like content creation,
Right.
like the actual tools to help you be more efficient at your job, then you're really going to miss an opportunity on like being able to work in the future.
I would think like the calculator, and this is going to be like way back, like I wonder if kids in the old days pushed back against that because it was just, change is hard. And
they were loyal to their abacus.
They're loyal to the abacus and moving the beads over. Like, at some point, AI is going to be, this whole artificial intelligence thing is going to be such the norm that it's just going to be a part of people's ethos and how they operate. But right now, we're in that transition period where some of the people, the new age people are, oh, no, it's not cool. And some of the people like us who are a little older are trying to adapt because we've been through enough life. We know if we don't adapt to the technology, then we get run over. I
especially understand with two of the older kids in my house because they're musicians. And I definitely, I see them as outsiders going, man, this stinks. I want to put out music or I want to create music. And, Nick, our partner, created like a pop version of the classic Bone Thugs and Harmony song Crossroads. And I thought it was kind of fun, and I was playing it, and my teenage daughter's 17 is just rolling her eyes like, this is so fake, but it's like,
I feel like they're all. I don't know. I'm not that old. That's a generation below me, or maybe two at this point.
yeah.
They appreciate, and I have to say it every week, human in the loop, right? I always say that there has to be a human in the loop, because right now the pendulum swings and it goes to all this new technology, and we're all like, oh my God, that's so cool, and you can create all this content, you can do all this stuff, and it's kind of art, but it's not really art. And these purists over here are like, where's the real art, bro? Where's the real human stuff?
Well, there's where some of the understanding has to come in, and I was telling my son about it when we were talking. I was like, son, Jack, I still need, I need to tell it what to do. I need to prompt it. So I'm still very much involved. It's not like all robots, and he's like, would you put a chip in your head if it was AI? I was like, I don't know. Would it make me better looking? He's like, no. I'm like, then no.
And that's what we have to, decipher is, how far we're going to let it take us and how much we want to step in. And I think the art now is, you can call it art, or the skill is learning how to talk to the AI.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to hopefully try to teach you today.
Well, one thing that we're going to specifically talk about, and I went off on a tangent, man. Sorry, I just had that conversation with my son, and it's always,
we're here for it.
Yeah, it's always fun to get other perspectives.
He's just showing that he's a real dude that has real stuff. He lives a real life. He's learning real AI. So
exactly. But ultimately, this past week, a new program was released. Well, a new version of a program that's been out for a while. I was not familiar with Sora.
I wasn't either, and I do this.
And now Sora 2 was released in the past week, and maybe it's just because this is how AI works, where a new tool comes out and people get really excited, and then it's kind of like, okay, I did it, I played with it, and now I've moved on. But it just seems like there's some real excitement about it. So what we're going to do today is to talk specifically about the release of Sora 2.
By OpenAI.
By OpenAI, what Sora 2 can do, what it can't do, how to use it, what's unique about it, and kind of get into it. And I say we're going to talk about it, but ultimately I'm supposed to still be learning. So you're going to talk about it, and I'm going to ask you some questions.
But what he isn't telling you right now is that he has been learning and implementing AI. We're about to have to change the show to Dave Implements AI, because he's doing so much for our business, for our clients. It's impressive. So we'll do a show like that where we can showcase what you're learning probably in the near future.
Well, I will tell you, I was overwhelmed at the beginning of it, and I'm now very enthusiastic. And I find myself, and it's been a while since this has happened, that I'll lay in bed at night and I'll be excited about working the next day.
All right.
Because, I've started something, or there's this new thing, or I've got an idea in my head, and now I have to figure out how to implement it. So, New life in this old dude.
But that's where your kids need to do it. You can't resist the change, because change is hard at first. Yeah. But then when you see, and we're talking about everything but Sora too. But that's why the important thing is you need to interact with AI, because once you get over the hump and you start learning how to talk to it and learning the different programs and agents and everything that goes along with it, that's when the magic happens, and that's when you go to bed excited, and that's when you wake up ready to go.
So that's the interesting thing about Sora. And I think when you talk to younger kids who are glued to social media, like Snapchat, TikTok, Instagrams to some extent, that just do this all day, and they consume so much of this content that's out there. And maybe because they're so into that, they're nervous about the transition over to AI-generated content, because to them it doesn't feel as real as natural.
Yeah, and there's the concept of AI slop.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, we'll get into it, but that's one of the things, because Sora 2 is so easy, and so it churns out content, it doesn't take too long, and maybe they're a little bit scared that God, I'm going to be overwhelmed. This is going to be too much, and I'm going to tell what's real. OpenAI is putting markers inside the content to let people know, and eventually they're going to have some the communications, the federal communications. They have to put some kind of stamp, or it's going to have some kind of filter to where people will know that it's AI. But the cool thing about Sora 2 is they're the first one that I've seen, and I'm pretty sure this is correct, that has actually implemented a platform, a social platform, within the, this new rollout. So you create this whatever AI.
Yeah. Let's talk. Let's go back. Because we jumped ahead.
for it.
Yeah. Let's go back to kind of the beginning and let's give a real description
You're
of
right.
what Sora 2 is on the grand scale.
Okay, so Sora 2 is a way of generating content. OpenAI, mostly it's multimodal, but it's text-based, so it's going to give you back text-based answers and or voice. Sora 2 is their kind of visual rollout with that. So you basically put your input in, and it turns out it interprets what you're trying to want. It interprets what you're wanting, and then it delivers on that promise. And it's the most accurate, fastest. It incorporates sound now. A lot of times, 2 months ago, incorporating sound in anything was unheard of. Now, in 10 seconds, that the efficiency of Sora 2, I think, is what is really like catching the whole world by storm.
So you go in the app. There's an app. Is there a desktop version as well?
There's both, yeah.
Okay. And
App's only on iOS.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's only on Apple.
Correct.
Is that something that will change?
Yes, for sure. But
Okay.
This is the rollout.
Oh, cool. So, and the rollout is not open to the general public.
It's not. You have to get an invite code,
Okay.
and you can find those on Discord servers, or I think everybody that signs up gets 2 or 3 that they can give to their friends. But
I have 4, and I haven't shared it with
I know. Apparently, people are paying for them.
Yeah. You can pay for one of mine if you want. $150.
Yeah, leave it in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, so you log in. It's the screen is just what do you engage with as soon as you open up the Sora app?
Okay. You can go one of 2 ways. You can basically say, hey, I want to see a purple dragon riding a volcano rainbow, and it will do that. I'm snapping a lot today because it really is so fast.
So you're going in to use it. You're going in it to generate content. You're not going in it as a typical social platform to just scroll through other people's creations.
No, but you do, whenever you log in, you have a profile. And like I said, you can go one of 2 ways to... You don't really realize that it's a social platform until you create your first prompt, and then it's like, do you want to post this? And you're like, post it? Okay. And then you see that there's all these other creators out there that are doing similar stuff, which, when's the last time, Dave, that we had a new social media platform? I mean, there's really caught on. TikTok was probably the last, COVID or right before COVID, that's been a mainstay in people's, paradigm. And these companies are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. So if they can even... that's a conversation for another time, but like them adding that on, I think is a very interesting play for them. But anyway, so one of 2 ways. You can either create your prompt, and then it'll deliver, a representation of what you just wanted, voice, text, actors, whatever's involved. Or, this part's really cool too, you can create your own cameo. And what that means is it asks you to take a picture, or not a picture of yourself, it videos you saying 3 numbers, and then asks you to turn your head to the right, and it tells you to look down. And that 1 minute, it creates, we've talked about AI twins on this podcast before. And that 1 minute of interaction where it gets your voice, it sees your face, it gets both sides, it can create the best digital twin that I've seen by far.
Really?
Yeah, it's super impressive. And it also allows you to, like, your cameo, they're called cameos, not digital twins. Your cameo, if you publish it, we can create cameos together. So I would just simply tag you in the prompt and be like, me and, at AI Dave are going to fight the Russian army, like something like that. We can create stuff together where it'll incorporate both of us. And it really interprets what you're trying to say without you having to make a 3-paragraph prompt. I mean, it really is good at what it turns out.
What do you feel like would be the way that most people utilize this program? Like, how do you envision it being used?
So for our business, how I've been using it, and I think, you've been probably, for our business, the sheer volume of content, usable content that I can get is amazing. So I'm doing custom videos for one of our clients, and it's basically got to be all B-roll. So I got to fill 3-4 minutes of different videos with all B-roll. So whatever the voiceover, whatever the guy's talking about, I can simply sit there and type what I want that B-roll to look like. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be good enough to put in this video that they're looking to post to their LinkedIn, their Instagram for their purposes. But it's got to be professional enough to where it works. And when we showed them today, it's amazing. It works. It's impressive.
Yeah. So you think that people will utilize it mostly moving forward to provide B-roll, or do you feel like the social kind of like the gimmicky part of it where you can, because I read something where there have been certain people and certain characters that have cameoed themselves. Pikachu is one of the examples. So whomever like owns the Pikachu license imaging, whatever, has pretty much opened it up saying, do whatever you want with this. And so you can tag, and I don't know what the Pikachu's cameo is, but you can tag them, and then so you can create a video of you and Pikachu.
Yeah. Jake Paul's got one. Sam Altman, the OpenAI guy. Yeah.
Like I mean, I would imagine like
any celebrity.
So, well, I don't know about any celebrity.
Not any celebrity.
I bet there are a lot of celebrities that are like, no, I don't want. I would think though that you would want, if you're a celebrity or if you have a brand, even if people mess with it, like they're sharing you and your content. Like
correct. If you're trying to get your name and face out there, like what better way? I mean, we don't know how far this Sora 2 platform is actually going to take off. You know, if it's going to be truly like, you know, part of people's like main phone apps. But what better way to get let me step back. I think from what I've read that OpenAI has protected enough so far to where people aren't allowed to, it'll read prompts if you're going to defame somebody that you're tagging. If I'm tagging Jake Paul and I'm like, oh, just beat his ass and then hit him like, you know, and then sat on him and did something like, you know, inhumane, like they're going to be like, nah, you can't do that. But for everything else, like, and that, I just think that it's a great way to brand. It's a great way to get your name out there. And I think that a lot of the early adopter celebrities are seeing, you see them a lot out there. And it's just, I mean.
So do you know enough about it? Because I'm curious, because I've seen a bunch of Martin Luther King speeches that they'll take video of him and somebody will cameo Martin Luther King and they'll change the lyrics of the speech. You know, his big I Have a Dream speech. And I saw one where he was singing the lyrics to what was Belle Biv DeVoe? What was that band they were in? BBD. The Philly, Motown Philly. Oh my gosh, Nick would know. Anyway, one of the songs like not Crossroads. Now that's in my head. Anyway, so they used the likeness of Martin Luther King. So what about historical figures? Are those free reign, or how do you? Because I know you cannot upload photos of people. So you can't. I can't take a picture of you, upload it, and go, make him do this.
Correct. There are a lot of permissions that you have to go through when you're doing your whole thing and saying the numbers that you consent that you can be publicized. I haven't seen any of the Martin Luther King things. Historical figures, I think, are the Wild Wild West right now. I think that the way Sam Altman operates, he's kind of like asked for forgiveness later because he knows that he's got something that's really good. And maybe the family of Martin Luther King, if it gets to be a problem, they can walk it back. But I think that they haven't fully fleshed out what the parameters are going to be for marking AI content. I think that's a much bigger question they have to answer. But right now, they're like, let's just deal with the problems as they come.
Here's a question.
Yes.
Is it free?
It's free right now. It's free if you get an invite code. If you post, you can post very freely to the account. If you download it, though, they do it like the old TikToks where it'll like splice their logo throughout it. I think as of last night, it's $200. It's $200 to gain access to it. I don't know if that's per month. I just heard $200 being thrown around. But you can also use it through some of the third-party AI content people like Higgsfield, Like Kling, does Kling do it?
In video.
In video, Higgs field right now.
Kling does not. Kling is available on Higgs field.
That's right.
So a question about the watermark. So I had heard that part of the reason why the watermark is in everything that is produced on Sora was to make sure that people could easily identify that it was AI generated. That it wasn't necessarily a permission ownership thing. Not, you know, how normally you can upgrade your subscription and lose a watermark. I had read that this was all part of the infrastructure, and maybe that'll change once it's open to the public. But that it's on there to make sure that people know, hey, this isn't real.
It's a good question, because right now, if you post to your Sora 2, there's no watermark. And maybe if you're misusing it, they can easily access that and take it down.
Really? If you post to it, there's no Sora watermark?
No.
Really? And but if you download it on your phone...
If you download it to your phone, then it pops up, and it's almost like it gives them a little bit more control. Because if you download it and then you run off with something that's nefarious, like, they don't have control over it. But now if you post it and it doesn't have the Sora watermark, everybody that sees stuff on that app assumes it's obviously made by AI.
So one thing I did know and found out is that if you use somebody else's cameo to create something that either you're in or something that you created, you can't download it. You can only post it.
Say that again?
So I'm in there, and I did this.
Okay.
So, because I saw Jake Paul, and Jake Paul's from Cleveland. I'm a Browns fan. I was like, Browns had just lost, so I made Jake Paul and I watching the game together, crying about another bad season for the Browns.
We're 5 games in, by the way.
Yeah. Well, they're 1-4. Anyway, so it's really fun. You know, it's me and Jake Paul sitting there commiserating on the fact that the Browns are awful. But I can't delete it. I can't
download that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's the control. They're doing their best to make sure that they're not they're not going to get sued, or that people aren't going to be misusing other people's faces.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to put these parameters around it. So that makes sense, because everything that lives on the platform, you just have to assume it's AI, and people are like, okay.
And I mean, you as Jake Paul, you're giving permission to the app.
For sure.
You guys can play around with this, play around with my likeness.
He's building a brand. He's always doing that.
But don't download it and go do something else with it. Just leave it here.
Correct.
We were talking about it a little bit. I just think in regards to marketing, I was thinking specifically like a brand like Taco Bell. Like if I'm in the marketing department at Taco Bell, I'm creating a Sora 2 profile, and I'm cameoing it and going, yes, talk about me.
Going crazy with it, right? That's the cool thing about, and I think I need to reiterate this point, because we didn't really do it I didn't do it at the beginning. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a social media app that's fun again, and I don't know how long this will last, but it's like, because it's so responsive, and because it's so accurate, and because you can do these cameos, and because it looks like you, and because you can loop in other celebrities into your videos, it's fun. And so I think it's just going to be like, all the brands should create their own profiles and start doing crazy stuff, like the funny companies on Twitter that they're always commenting, like, take that energy and put it towards your Sora profile, and do it now.
Yeah.
So that you can build it up.
Yeah, I played around with it. Like I did one scene where I'm like auditioning for a scene in Ocean's 11. And all I did is I cameoed myself, and I was like, all right, Dave is in an audition, and he's auditioning for a role in Ocean's 11. So it just has me standing there, hi, I'm Dave Clapper, this is blah, 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 and then reading a line from it. Because I was just...
Go follow his profile, you see all of his dreams come to life. Like all of his long-lived dreams that he's been waiting to do. You can see in pages.
Well, I did do one where I was the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns too. So yeah, I didn't publish many. I think I published one. Just because, I mean, they're not that good. I'm trying to figure out how to use it and why to use it, really. I mean, if you're really, really creative, we're going to have another guy next week on the show who Fitch, yeah. His big thing has always been, even I think it's TikTok or whatever, he does dad jokes. and his daughter, he's got a daughter, and she does dad jokes, and it's a dad joke thing. But he has done, through Sora, this travel dad joke thing. So he's like, oh, just landed in Thailand, gonna check out my dad jokes here. And you see him at the airport in Thailand, and he's walking the streets of Thailand with a bunch of Taiwanese or people around, and he's telling his dad jokes. And that's like, he's building a little brand for himself based on this with these, but I mean, all he's doing is going, dad jokes in Australia, and boom, now he has video of him in Australia with a dad joke.
Whatever your brand is,
So
if you're
crazy.
cooking, if you're a cook, if you play by a Dalmatian on your 2 Dalmatians on your bed and you play the flute like this, and that's your big TikTok niche, now you can do that anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So you gotta, anybody that has a brand or anybody that's trying to build a brand, they're all moving to that. So I'm looking forward to seeing his content on that.
There was just because I was downtown Atlanta and I rode the Ferris wheel with my kids last week, and I had a picture of the Ferris wheel, and I said, take this Ferris wheel, have it come off the rails and roll down the street of Atlanta. And it did. It took the Ferris wheel, and it was like, people in the background, look out, it's coming. And it's all the way down past Centennial Olympic Park. You could see the Westin in the background.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
But you didn't have to say put people in here being scared. It interprets all this stuff, and it makes it a very watchable video. And what I always say about content, it has to be clickable, watchable, shareable.
Yeah.
And for that to be watchable, it has to be entertaining, informative, or educational. So it's entertaining.
So we're glowing this thing up pretty big.
Yeah, we're glazing.
Glazing.
Can we say that?
Yeah. So tell me about some of the things that you feel like could be negative about Sora 2.
The negative is the obvious. It's how do you rein this in? Can people screen, Sora puts their watermark if you download it, but what if I screen record it? Can I get it that way? And then the problems with Sora, the things that they need to worry about is what the whole industry of AI needs to worry about as a whole. Yeah. It's how do you rein it in to where the bad actors aren't going to be really hurting people in the long run.
Yeah. Because that is what I see so far is really good about being the guardrails that are on it. We talk about guardrails a lot in AI. It is one of the most important things, and everybody, Sam Altman and all these creators, even Elon, they all know when they're going into this AI that it could be wild, wild west, that there has to be some guardrails, there has to be some protections, there has to be some limitations.
Yep.
And they're definitely really, really good at it in Sora so far. I have sent things that I didn't feel were nefarious that has come back on, nope, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't even know, what did I do? Like, do I need to retype that? Did I ask it in a weird way? And here's something else I found, so I'm going to teach you a little bit.
Okay. I like it.
So because it's on OpenAI, OpenAI created it, which is ChatGPT.
Yep.
It is a sister company of ChatGPT. They're all together. If you're not quite sure how to position your prompt in Sora 2, you can just ask ChatGPT to write the prompt for you.
100%.
So that way you can just take that and put that into Sora, because ChatGPT already knows how to prompt this thing.
And this is literally Dave teaching AI, Dave learning AI. We're talking to the people out there, whoever's listening to this. This is the best way that you learn, because you're like, oh, I don't know what to type. I don't know how to do this. All you have to do is go to ChatGPT, like you said. It does the work for you. You don't have to worry about the perfect prompt or having it all scheduled out exactly how it should be. You use this AI to talk to this AI to get exactly what you want. So that's why you just got to get your hands in the sandbox and start playing.
Cool. Do it. Download it. Check it out, man. It's fun. I'm not sure how anyone's going to use it for business, but I'm sure we'll find a way, or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just talk about it as being the next TikTok or the next Instagram or whatever, and Zuckerberg will try and figure out a way to steal that concept and
put it in the metaverse.
Yeah, put it in the metaverse or something like that. So that's really our focus today, was on Sora 2. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something about that, and download it and check it out, play around with it.
Yeah, engage.
I guess, do you have a Sora 2 account that somebody could follow?
Follow. We should create one. We'll make one.
There is one. I think Nick did create one for Taptico, but I don't know how I haven't played with it.
You can
so.
follow it. Look in the comments. We'll pin a comment to where you can follow us on the Sora 2 app.
Yeah.
And if you need download codes, leave us comments as well.
I think mine is ATLDC20.
Okay.
It first was my full name, and I'm like, that seems like I'm just putting it out there. So I changed it to something, which whatever. Anyway, we'll give you, like he said, we'll try and put it up. Or you can also DM us. You can follow us on Instagram, all the platforms, and happy to be on this journey with you. And of course, call us if you need any help with any of this. That's why we're here.
For sure.
All right, Tribble, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.